In this episode of the Butt Chronicles, we take a look at Beavis and Butt-Head Episode 3, Door to Door.
Welcome to Industrial Industries World Radio's The Butt Chronicles.
You said welcome.
Oh God.
Well, what's up, ladies, gentlemen, and butt munches alike? Welcome to the Butt Chronicles, your audio guide to everything Beavis and Butt-Head. I'm your host, DJ Glowing Ice, and welcome to the premiere for Season 1 of the actual series of Beavis and Butt-Head. We're taking a look at the episode Door to Door. It's the first episode of Season 1, but Episode 3 overall, and it aired on MTV March 8th, 1993. It was written by Glenn Eichler, David Felton, and Mike Judge, and it was directed by Mike Judge as well. And before we get into what happens in Door to Door, I kind of realized I haven't explained what Beavis and Butt-Head actually look like. So going by alphabetical order, let's take a look at Beavis. He's the shorter one. He's got blonde hair that's kind of poofy. He's kind of got a long jaw thing going on, and he's my favorite out of the two personally. He's wearing a blue Metallica t-shirt and gray shorts and black shoes. Butt-Head, on the other hand, he has brown hair and it's kind of just disheveled on top. And he wears a gray AC/DC t-shirt with red shorts and black shoes as well. And Butt-Head also has the whole braces and the upper lip thing going on. I want to mention what they look like in this episode because later on in the fun facts, there's a little bit of a variation that changes with Beavis. But first, let's take a look at the series premiere of Beavis and Butt-Head, Season 1, Episode 3, Door to Door. We start out in Beavis and Butt-Head's house. Their TV is flipping through channels, and it stops at a talk show where the host is talking about murderers and satanic rituals. It then shows the boys, and Butt-Head says, "What's that address again?" and then laughs. The next shot is Beavis and Butt-Head's high school teacher, Mr. Van Driesen, in front of the classroom talking about capturing the spirit of the 60s. He goes on to mention that in order to capture the spirit of the 60s, he's going to have his class go door to door to collect money for poor kids overseas. It then shows Beavis and Butt-Head sitting in their desks. Beavis has a firecracker in his hand with a lighter in the other, flicking it, showing sparks. Van Driesen goes on to say, if students don't want to collect money going door to door, they can do a report on the electric Kool-Aid acid test. The boys are all in for doing an oral report, but their hopes are crushed when Van Driesen says for the report they have to read the book. The next shot is Beavis and Butt-Head outside in front of a house. They ring the doorbell to the house. An older fat lady in a robe with a cigarette hanging from her mouth answers the door. "Yes," she says. "Got any money?" Butt-Head asks. The lady then slams the door in their faces. Next house, Beavis knocks on the door, and an older bald man in his boxers and undershirt answers. Butt-Head says, "We're collecting for the poor." The old man says, "Great, I just lost my job." He then grabs Butt-Head's donation can and slams the door. The boys then move on to house number 3. They ring the doorbell, and a drunk middle-aged man with a bottle of gin in his hand answers. Butt-Head says they're collecting for the poor to help them buy meals. The man pukes in the can and says, "There's one." Now we're seeing the boys walking on the sidewalk, heading to the next house. Butt-Head says, the 60s must have sucked. They knock on the door to the next house, which makes the door crack open to darkness inside. Butt-Head says, "Hello? Collecting for charity." Exotic music with a sitar is playing, and a voice from deeper inside the house says, "Come in, boys. I've been waiting for you." The boys walk in, and they turn on the lamp. It sheds light on an old woman with a cane in one hand, a whip in the other, and fully dressed in a dominatrix outfit. This is the character Mistress Cora Anthrax. The boys scream, and the lights go out. It then shows Beavis and Butt-Head both chained to a wall and are asked questions about who they serve. As they answer back, "You, Mistress Cora." Mistress Cora then slaps the whip around and laughs. Back in the classroom the next day, Van Driesen announces they made $8 from the charity drive. He goes on to congratulate Beavis and Butt-Head as he got a note from Miss Cora Anthrax that read, "When your charity work was explained to me by those charming young men, Beavis and Butt-Head, my heart went out to those poor children overseas. Good luck, and please send Beavis and Butt-Head around if you need more." Along with the note, Cora Anthrax also sent a check for $100. Mr. Van Driesen, being proud of the boys, gives them each a Moby Grape album from his own personal collection. It then cuts to the boys outside, standing in a field, throwing the records around like frisbees. One hits the side of the fence and it shatters. Butthead then asks, while holding his record, "What if you stuck a firecracker in that little hole? That would be cool." They then laugh, and that's the end of the episode. Alright, so that's the story. Now let's check out the music video segments. Alright, so the music videos for the episode Door to Door. We've got Suicidal Tendencies with Send Me Your Money. The boys headbang to it, and they like it. Then we got Sir Mix-a-Lot with Baby Got Back. Butthead says, "Butts are cool." Beavis adds, "I got a stiffy." After that, we've got Richard Marx with Take This Heart. Butthead says, "If you're like famous, you could touch your wiener and nobody cares." He then adds, "Isn't that dude on 92010? Beavis says, "Yeah, that show sucks." Butthead says, "Yeah, those chicks are stuck up." Butthead then says the video is stupid and changes it. Then we have the band Life, Sex, and Death with the song Schools for Fools. The boys headbang to it, and Butthead says that the singer is a dumbass. Beavis says, "School sucks." Next is Madonna with Erotica, and throughout the beginning of the video, Butthead says, "Erotica." Butthead also says that he's got to go spank his monkey. Another video is 9 Inch Nails with the song Head Like a Hole. Butthead says, "These guys are cool," and repeats the word head as it's shown on the screen. And for these very early episodes, there's some alternate music videos that are shown in airings after the premiere. So in these alternate airings, another music video was featured in this episode, which was the band Scorpions with Rock You Like a Hurricane. And this video is a version where it shows footage of hurricanes and storms. And while this is playing, Butthead says, "That guy's a dumbass." And Beavis says, "Yeah, he looks like David Letterman." And then Butthead adds, "Hurricanes are cool." Alright, now it's time to get into the behind the scenes and fun facts of Door to Door. As I said earlier, talking about how Beavis and Butt-Head look, there's a variation here in this episode and a few other episodes where Beavis is actually wearing a Slayer t-shirt instead of a Metallica t-shirt. It's kind of weird because in some shots Beavis is wearing a Metallica t-shirt, and then you watch the music videos and oh, he's wearing a Slayer t-shirt, and then it cuts again and it's like, oh, he's wearing a Metallica t-shirt. I don't know, it's just a weird little thing in these very early episodes. Door to Door is the first Beavis and Butt-Head episode to have digital ink and paint. If you do want to watch this episode, it was officially released on the very rare History of Beavis and Butt-Head collection that was released on VHS and DVD. This episode is the only episode where we have an appearance of Mistress Cora Anthrax. As we talked about alternate music video sets, later airings of this episode saw the Suicidal Tendencies video replaced with the music video Garden of Eden of Guns N' Roses. Mike Judge didn't like this episode. He's quoted as saying, "I don't know why anybody liked it." The Internet Movie Database, IMDb, gives it a 7 out of 10, and that is that. Now, I'll give you my review. As a classic Beavis and Butt-Head fan, watching this, yeah, I mean, the animation is bad. The segment of Beavis and Butt-Head walking on the sidewalk, it doesn't show them like moving as if they're taking steps. It's just looks like they're just on this track and they're just being pulled. So yeah, this very early episode is rather crappy looking animation wise, but a lot of the little details, the grittiness of what Beavis and Butt-Head's supposed to look like is there. But yeah, there is a difference between horrible animation and just a real gritty kind of style. So what I like about the episode is, they're in high school, you got the classic Van Driesen, Moby Grape albums, that was a nice little touch to it. Seeing all the different neighbors in Highland going door to door, and one's a drunk, one's an old lady just wrapped in a robe smoking a cigarette, and the other one's just a guy in his underwear, just out of work. And, that's just classic Beavis and Butt-Head stuff. So that's the nice little gold that you find in this episode. But the whole Mistress Cora Anthrax thing with Beavis and Butt-Head being chained to the wall and them, following her orders, it just didn't feel like Beavis and Butt-Head. How they would be, at least. So I could understand why Mistress Cora Anthrax got axed after this episode. She did actually appear in some issues of Beavis and Butt-Head comic books, though, so if you want more of her, you could check her out there. And then Butt-Head talking about putting the firecracker in the little hole of the record. That's a callback from the first 2 pilot episodes, so that seemed to be a running joke up until this point. So this is a nice little touch, if you caught that. But overall, I kind of felt this episode just kind of a meh. So I gotta give it a 3 out of 10. It's a watchable episode, but it's probably good just to watch to say that you've watched every single episode, because there's far more better episodes out there. So that's my verdict for episode 3 of Beavis and Butt-Head, Door to Door. It's a 3 out of 10. It's very fitting because it is episode 3. Oh.